Well, it looks like we got some interesting things going on in the markets. Actually, I know the S&P downgraded to Russia's bonds to almost just above junk status. It totally pissed them off. But I don't think that's reality, though. That's I have to put it out that way. I'm not going to play major media USA, and I'm not going to play Russia Today on the opposite side either. But I'm just saying, I don't think the Russian economy is doing too great. I know that. Their stock market has dropped like 24% this year at least. The ruble's been got sliding against the dollar for a long time. They're not doing too good. I know that. But as far as making their bonds junk status, I don't know about that, man. That's a political game they're playing with them right now because of what's going on in Ukraine. Sanctions and all that. Now, I'm neither here nor there with, I'm against both sides in the elite. Okay? I'm just going to put it to you that way. I'm not for the USA elite, and I'm certainly not for the Russian elite because it's even more skewed over there. And those guys got way more power. Like, right now, it looks like Putin's really taking over the internet, and it's going on everywhere. I mean, I don't know what the hell to do about it, really. You know what I mean? What the hell can you do about it, It's like you bitch about it, and like you're doing it anyway. But it looks like, hate to say it, it really, actually, problems are more severe over in Russia. But I have to state this, I was always kind of harping on about Palladium, I don't know, for the last few years, actually. It's done okay, it's done okay, even over the last few years. Or I guess the highest it was a little over 850, but now I think it's at 807. That was a few years ago. That's doing a hell of a lot better than what silver's been doing. It was like well over 40, and now it's below 20, right? Even though it went up a little bit today. But it looks like, the markets today, they took a pretty good downturn. I think it was 140 points down on the Dow. Amazon.com got clobbered. They think they dropped almost 10% on the NASDAQ. They were one of the worst stocks on the NASDAQ. I don't know exactly why, but, the thing is with stocks, you got to remember this, and actually with any investment, even silver's like the one that's the most illogical of anything out there probably. But the thing is, like right now, the PE ratios are near record highs. The profitability of the companies is really high, so it's not unexpected to have a market turn down. And even the major media has been warning about this for quite some time, right? So, it looks like some money might be going into some gold or silver and things like that. Geopolitical tensions are probably more than likely going to bring up the commodities, gold, silver, and especially palladium, because Russia, their global supply of palladium, the global supply on a yearly basis comes from Russia. 43% of it comes from Russia. And, actually that's what's going on, why palladium's going up, because of tensions with Russia. They're really, I know there's supply and demand, and there's more and more, there's record demand each year, but it's really going up recently because of problems with Russia. And, it really could freaking take off to some ungodly amount, but, it could be that silver happens. It happens with silver and everything else. Everything tends to move together more or less as far as commodities. And when there's geopolitical tensions, it's going to come freaking... it's going to move up. I know Kerry made some statements. Secretary of State Kerry made some statements today about, and I agree with this guy. I mean, I'm not a fan of Kerry. I'm not saying that, but people accuse me of being that. But he's correct in saying that Russia Today. He made a statement that Russia Today was the propaganda arm of Putin, which it is. It is. I mean, it's basically owned by the Kremlin. The game with Putin is to protect the oligarchs. The game with the politicians over here is to protect Wall Street, right? But it's still, I have to just keep repeating this. It's still nowhere near as skewed over here as it is over in Russia. And the reason for that is we actually have a Constitution and a Bill of Rights, especially the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is an actual law of the land. I don't care, and you can say it's ignored, but it's still the law of the land. People are conscious of this. It's like, if you have a defeatist attitude and you keep saying it's been rescinded and they do it anyway, you lost. You got to have a positive can-do attitude that the situation will get better. Actually, in the United States, things have been worse before. They have been. That's why I'm not too cool on these doom and gloomers. I don't know what the hell's coming up here, but, it looks like, I'm going to say this, a conflict in Ukraine, I think, is almost like a guarantee. That's going to drive, and I think when that happens, that's probably going to be the go-ahead for an attack in Syria. The West, and Israel will attack Syria, and that'll happen at the same time while Russia's busy over in the Ukraine. That's been one contention. But that's going to drive the price of oil up a lot. So I'm gonna keep putting out some car videos, man. I want to actually put out something. I just put out something about my Suzuki Samurai. I love that little freaking Jeep, man. I don't give a shit. I like it, okay? But I'm gonna start looking into, maybe if the gas goes up a lot, I'm gonna probably look into something on the HHO, something that works pretty good, and see if you can improve some kind of gas mileage on different things, because we're probably going to get it, if there's a war in the Middle East, I don't think, gas is not going to go up forever and stay up forever because, the demand destruction principle, but it takes a while for the new technology to come into play. I've seen on the internet, actually it was on YouTube, you can look for it, it's like a little, I don't want to say how big it is, it's, I'm probably saying it's about, not much bigger than this checkbook. It's maybe about that thick, that high. It's a battery that uses some kind of battery technology that you can use it to not just charge your iPhone or run your laptop with, but it's got jumper cables on it. You could take the battery out of a large truck and with a V8 and start it with this little battery they got. It's on YouTube. I don't know where the hell it is. You got to search for it. But they also started a bus with it. So you know what I'm saying? My point is, when commodities go up, like say oil goes to some ungodly amount due to a conflict in the Middle East, eventually it'll come back down because they'll find other methods out there to get around using oil for fuel, okay, to make the gasoline. They'll use the electricity. They'll use solar panels. And like I'm just pointing out, this deal with the batteries, because that's one of the big drawbacks with electrical vehicles, is that the batteries have to weigh so damn much, they weigh so much, and they can only store so much charge to give you a good enough range on the car, but it looks like the battery technology has been changing. There's been a lot of breakthroughs. So like what I'm saying is, when we see commodities go up through the roof, how high is high? That's the one thing I don't know. But right now, I think, it's a safe bet to be betting on gold, silver, platinum, and palladium in oil. It's a safe bet. They're too cheap for what's coming up. It's like when they get up to record highs, then I don't know, what's going to happen then. I'm going to be nervous, and I'm going to be starting to sell some, and I'll probably sell some too quick. But I guess it's probably safer to do that in stages because you never know if there's an intermediate rebound or whatever the hell is going to happen. It's the age-old psychology of anything with investments. Right now, silver and these metals have been such a rotten investment for the last 3 years, to put it in plain language, that people are totally dissuaded from it. But the whole point is, when you buy these things, you don't put 100% of your money into it. You never do. And that was never my advice, that's for sure. But, it's something that when we see a currency crisis come up in the United States, and there will be something that comes up. I know Alan Greenspan has talked about hyperinflation. I know about Alan Greenspan. I know he works for the bad guys. I know what he's about, okay? But I'm saying is, a lot of times these guys drop hints as to really what's going to be coming up. Paul Volcker said that, he gave a time frame of 1.5 years from the time he talked about, which would have been March 4th, 2014, when things start to break apart. But the Volcker rule, which makes the banks get out of trading and influencing the markets and things like that, is going to be start to come in effect April 1st, 2014, and have to be fully in effect by July 2015. So that's going to make, it's basically, that's been one of the problems, that commodities have been, the markets in the commodities have been rigged. The price of silver has been held down and all this kind of garbage. I think the price of oil has actually been held up, to tell you the truth, but I think it's still going to go up a hell of a lot more because they want to rake people over the coals. They will do it. They will do it. It will super spike as long as they got an excuse that they can blame it on someplace else. You know what I mean? You know, that's exactly how it's going to play out. Oil will super spike, but it's not. You got to make it. You got to make it so it's caused by somebody else. In the meantime, the ones that will be making all the money are going to be local producers in the United States. You know what I mean? That's how they'll do it. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure of it. But what I think, you know, I've been saying again and again, I feel like Palladium. You know, it looks like the Russian tensions are going to keep continuing, man. I'm gonna suspect, you know, maybe this whole deal is some kind of weird plan. I don't know, man. It's like, you know, I knew from years and years and years, and it's like, you know, I don't worry about it. I knew about what Major Anatoly Glitsin said way back in the 70s, that they would dissolve the Soviet Union, and they were going to bring down the Berlin Wall, and it was long-range strategic deception. And, you know, I know all this stuff that's going on in the background. It just takes forever for it to happen. You know, I don't know if it's going to happen right away, but it looks like, you know what I think, though? I think with Vladimir Putin, this guy is going to, he ain't going to ever give up power, man. He'll go to war. And, you know, it's probably going to start a little bit at a time. I don't know. And I know he put out a big, giant coin about this big with his face on it. And I know some people are looking at that like, you know, that's against the Western fiat system or whatever. But you got to remember, the freaking ruble is not even backed by nothing either. You know, it's a bunch of bullshit. They're all playing the same game. The Chinese play, the Chinese elite play the same game. The elitists everywhere love fiat currency, as long as it's theirs. They want to be the top dog on the game. You know? No elitist on the other side of the world is going to do anybody a favor over here. We just got to go back to basics. But the fact that Putin puts out this big, giant silver coin of himself, that doesn't make me think the U.S. dollar is going to go down. That just makes me think this guy has got a huge ego, which, if I've always been saying, he does have a huge ego. I should ad-lib a little bit on this because, you know, it's almost like, this is where I can't stand the Russian attitude sometimes, man. It's like, wow, man, it's almost like a very militant, very, I don't know what kind of attitude it is. It's like very, you know, Americans are noted for being pretty laid back. You know, they really are. Actually, you know, people come to our country over here in the United States, a lot of people find the Americans to be pretty freaking friendly, to tell you the truth. And, you know, I guess it's like that everywhere somewhat, but over here it's pretty much like, it's pretty laid back. It really is. Americans are pretty damn tolerant of every damn thing. You know, we got a very diverse culture over here, and everybody's pretty tolerant of everybody else, to tell you the truth. But, you know, with Russia, man, it's almost like the guys on the top, they got like a big elitist attitude, you know. It's like, they're, you know, with Vladimir Putin himself, you know, I heard the different things I was putting out. He had a Napoleon complex. And, you know, and this is something, I don't have nothing against short people of whatever height they are. I don't really give a shit about that. But I think his problem, where I have a problem with Vladimir Putin, is that he's got a huge ego. And he's surrounded by a bunch of ego maniacs that kiss his ass. Which I think Vladimir Putin actually is 5'5". You know, even though they say he's 5'7", it looks like he's 5'7", because he wears those shoes that make him look 5'7". But you know, another indication that makes me think he's 5'5" is Medvedev is 5'4". But you know, Medvedev don't seem like he has this big ego problem like Vladimir Putin. You know, that guy just seems like a, you know, a leader for Russia, for the people, and he doesn't have this head that's like, grr, you know what I mean? So I went off on Vladimir Putin on this shit, but I don't like that freaking Russian militant attitude, man. I can't stand it. I don't like it in the United States, but they got it worst over there. And, you know, so anyway, it looks like Palladium, you know, I know people have been asking me about this metal. I'm going to state flat out, though, if I was going to tell people to buy some metals, and don't put all your money into metals, even though I think they're going to go up a lot from where they are now, I would advise people to go with silver over palladium first. Because you can get more ounces of it, People recognize what the hell it is. People don't, I mean, you can't be saying like, if there's a big emergency situation, here's some ounces of silver. I want to go buy this tractor or some shit, or I want to buy some tools from you. If you give somebody some palladium, a lot of people go, what the hell is this shit? Especially if it becomes worth more than gold, because you want something that's more divisible. You want something that's more divisible. I think actually all the metals aren't going to move exactly perfectly together, but if you got enough silver and you want to decide to buy some palladium, it's almost getting like a little nerve-wracking now, because the only reason palladium is this high is because of Russian tensions. It's not really due to fundamentals. But if you had a little bit of a crystal ball, it looks like it's a given that Russian tensions are going to get more and more severe. And if Russian tensions go like full tilt, like there's something really bad going on, palladium should be at least twice the price of gold. That's when I'd get rid of this shit. I'd be like, goodbye. Anyway, I just want to put this out here because, a lot of people, they're losing faith every time they see silver go down a little bit, and they get overexcited every time silver goes up a little bit. But like I said, it's almost like what I think is going to lead the charge is oil. And right now, oil, well, it goes up and it goes down. I mean, it went down today. It's down to like almost 100 again on the WTI. It was up to 104. I know that's all price rigging and stuff like that, but don't expect it to stay down. I'm wishing the shit just goes up super spikes and I get the hell out of it and I'm done. That's what I'm thinking. That's really what I'm thinking on the crap. But, I think what would drive up oil like a rocket is if something goes on with Syria and especially Iran. If anything goes on with Iran, what they'll do is they'll counterattack on Saudi, and you'll see the price of oil go right through the roof. That's when you're going to see gold and silver skyrocket like crazy. I don't know when this crap's going to happen, but I do know it will happen. That's the thing. I know it will happen. It's on their plans, man. It's on their plans. They want it. They will do this. They will do this. It's, man. That's the thing, is the timing. I don't know when the hell it's going to happen exactly. But it looks very logical that if Russia does attack Ukraine, and I think he's biding his time, he's going to do it, that when that happens, they're going to be busy. That's when the U.S. and Israel is going to strike Syria, and if they knock that out fast, they're going to go after Iran. And then you're going to see the precious metals and oil and everything else go right through the freaking roof. So anyway, just make sure you hang on to your investment. Don't be dissuaded. And say silver went down to 15. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it is, because I think 18 was a traditional last really super strong line in the sand. But say it did, and I told you to buy it now at 20. The point is, don't think of it as the long range. I'm going to tell you this: most people do not buy at the absolute low or sell at the absolute high. You're never going to get it perfect. Anybody gets it perfect is actually going to be a billionaire inside of a year, even if they start with $500. I mean, that's mathematically, that's what happens. So I mean, don't expect the sky to freaking open up with manna and like you're going to get rich scheme. But like I said, when you buy silver, you do that with a portion of your savings. You don't do it with all your savings. I've never, ever, ever recommended that you put all your money into silver. I used to get hammered left and right from people saying, "What do you do? Keep fiat?" I say, "Yeah." You keep some fiat, damn it. I always said that. So that's one difference from, I like silver, but it's like I got some logic in me, you know what I mean? So I mean, you gotta have a mixture of different things. And I know people asking me about stocks and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you the truth about some of this shit, because I agree a little bit with Ann Barnhart, even though I think she's a little radical. You know, at one point in time, I think you're going to go online with your brokers if there's a real financial crisis, a really, really bad banking crisis. You're going to be screwed. Whatever the hell you have on paper or electronically, you might be screwed. It might take a few years to be like that. I don't think it's going to happen this year, and there'll be plenty of warnings, but eventually that's going to happen. So I'm just telling people, go back to old school all the way. The backbone of the United States was old school, blue collar, middle class, working people. That's really what it was, man. Be productive, and that's worth more than anything. You know, these people in the financial world, you're going to find out they're getting squeezed. That's why they're jumping off of buildings left and right, or whatever's happening. They're getting shoved. I don't know what's going on. But, you know, they're going to find out the financial sector is going to get a lot smaller. I think old Jim Rogers is right. It's going to go back to agriculture again. Farming, man. You know, farming for food, farming for energy, farming for medicine. The whole deal. You know, right now nobody still don't want to do it because it's work. But that's probably what it's going to be, man. That's probably what it's going to be. Over and out.